Welcome to Hope and Sunshine Fine Art Studio. This is where our video classes begin and where you will learn to create art from your heart. We hope you enjoy.
Welcome again to my Hope and Sunshine studio. I wanted to thank all of you to be joining me today in our number 4 class, which you're going to have a wonderful learning process for an still life painting. But before that, I wanted to thank the Fulton County Board of Commissioners who are sponsoring these classes free for all of you, and they are also giving me the opportunity to not only be with you tonight, is also be with all of you who are willing to learn and unwilling to teach. I'm going to give a little technical explanation today because first of all, some of my students have given me wonderful report and I want to thank them also, but some of them, they're asking me questions. They are technical, and these technical things are going to be very easy. I don't going to be too extensive because we had to short time, but I'm going to be professional enough for you guys to keep doing things better and better from now on. And I'm going to begin this class right now showing you guys what we're going to do right now. This is our still life painting that we're going to create today, but we're going to do it simplified because I know that some of you are new and they are not too, I would say, beginners, and for the one who are intermediate and advanced class, this is going to be more simpler. This is going to be easier to work out. Take a look at this. This is a beautiful combination of fruits that they are wonderful to paint and they are not too difficult. I want to show you that you could do it, because if I could do it, you could do it too. And before I do that, I want to give some of you who are asking me what a prime is, what is the technical process to prime a canvas, and this is what we're going to do now. Priming is very simple, and all what it takes, and I'm going to show what happened when you write with a pencil hard. And I hope that you see the lines over here of our pumpkin that I was doing before. But priming is so easy that it's absolutely piece of cake, and I'm going to show you guys how to do it. Very simple. Canvas board, which is this one, is a piece of cardboard that is wrapped around with a material. Of course, the material, it has a process of cotton, and some canvas are cotton, some canvas are linen, some canvas are a different kind of them. And this one is a cotton one, and it's already primed by the manufacturer. It says over here in the back that it's being manufactured 3 times. But sometimes the manufacturer have one idea, because they are manufacturers, they are not artists, and we have other ideas to have a very beautiful surface, especially with acrylic, which is a water base. It's very thin. We have to prime it again, and this is easy. Prime is just you go to any art supply and you buy what you call acrylic gesso, acrylic blank. It's a white paint, it's a polymer, it's a white paint, like when you paint a house. you use a primer first to cover all the difficulties of the wall. This is the same thing, and this is just a very thick paint, a polymer who's going to cover the canvas, and it is very easy to apply. Some people use a brush, some artists like this one, very thin, very soft, or some other artists prefer to do this other system, which is very easy and it's cheaper, it's very inexpensive, and it's more efficient because it covers more area. I'm just gonna prime this one really quick. If it is the primer too thick, you could dilute it with water because this is water soluble, and you just go really one by one. You could do it this way, which is cover the whole surface and get all the little things who have been not covered before out, and let it dry for a whole 15 or 20 minutes. I have here a little fan that I could do that last night, but right now we don't have time to do that. We're just going to use the previous one that I had done. This is easy, it's nothing important. Just remember to put back again the lid and put your brush or your felt in water to get the excess of paint out, and don't get, because it get dry, it get very soft. Also, I'm going to show you what is a pantograph. Pantograph, and this one is not a real one. This is what they call because I was trying to get one today, and it doesn't going to come over until next week. This is a pantograph that they use in the painting companies. It is different colors and with different shades of colors, of the same color, different shades. Later on in the classes, I'm going to be giving you what are the primary colors, the secondary colors, the tertiary colors, and the combination of colors that you could do with the same basic paintings. But today we had to do our painting. That's why I just want to show you this to be familiar with what you need to do later on when you're becoming professional. And later on I'm going to keep explaining many little tips, many little tricks that we do we are a little bit more advanced to minimize the problems and maximize the effects, and also to save money because art is expensive. And most of the artists, I don't know if you guys are heard, starving artists, is totally true, because we love to do art, but sometimes we don't get the same result. I'm gonna be painting over here. This is a canvas that I have been already primed and let it dry last night, and is ready for doing our painting today. And what we're going to do today is very simple. We're going to simplify the artwork that you saw before. And I'm going to show a mini. Mini is a little painting. Let me see if I could just, that have an easel that I do for Christmas, and it's the same thing that we're going to do in a simple way. It's the same result. This is done in oil, but we're going to do it in an acrylic, which is the same thing. Oh, it's different media, different result, but the effects are similar. And if you wanted to do this kind of thing for Christmas, you could buy minis in different ways. This is 4 by 6 inches, which is the more or less better for this kind of a little easel. And it is a cute gift for Christmas. I'm going to just move it in that way you could see it better. Here we go. It's a cute little gift that you could just do almost in half an hour. If you have many different persons to give Christmas present, that is a good idea. Okay, we're gonna begin our color palette right now because we need red, and I have over here red And we're going to use our palette with some magenta red, and we're going to use orange and yellow. Orange. It's okay. Yellow. Remember that it's a good idea also to, before you cap the painting, just clean. We're gonna do two types of green. This is Viridian green, which is very deep, and we're gonna use lighter green, we're gonna do also, because we have some gray, I'm going to minimize today because of the time. Unfortunately, I tried to do these classes at 3 hours, but 3 hours is too much for many people, and it is a little hard for us to produce something. I'm putting over here a little blue, ultramarine blue, because I'm going to show you how to maximize colors with, especially with green. Next class, we're going to do technical. Next class, I'm going to mix a little bit more technical, but we're going to do some, because we are close to Thanksgiving, I'm going to do some Thanksgiving theme. And I hope that you like. I'm using over here violet. As you see, we are improving our knowledge of different colors, and I'm going to use a little bit of brown. A little bit of black. Trust me, I'm not too with black, because black is very a strong color, but black is necessary sometimes to do some shading if we dilute it with white. And because to make the illusion of roundness of the fruit and roundness of the background tablecloth, we're gonna do a little bit of that. Okay, now that we are ready with our palette, I'm going to just quickly draw the basic scene. We're gonna do over here our first apple, and this apple is being cut in two. You have one slice out, and I'm going to just do it this way. Sometimes when I am improvising like I'm doing right now, I had to erase some things that I do trying to get the right dimension, and it's totally normal, it's totally acceptable. And because we're going to do the right dimension to this apple, we're going to kind of erase this part over here. Remember that apples are absolutely delicious, but also they are very, they're not round in one, they're round in the top but not round in the bottom. And this is something that you're going to be learning. Okay. Now I'm doing the stem of my apple, and the center of the apple will be more or less this side, and I'm going to use a ruler to make it even, because this apple have been cut in a slice, and apple have a little seed over here, and we're going to do the seed and both at the same time. The part of the seed that it was the base of the seed or the bed of the seed. And apples, because they have like a little, I'm painting over here the edges of the part that we cut. I'm going to show you one trick that is very, very important. If I cut this apple, I'm going to do over here the part of the apple that we cut. And to make it right, I'm going to measure from the bottom to the top. And I have exactly here 1.5 inches. And this is 1.5 inches that I'm going to use for my apple over here, the slice that we took off. And I'm going to put it close. Okay, this is the slice that we cut, and all what I'm going to do is just do the same amount of to make it really real. And now this is my slice of the apple, and we got this done. We're going to do the center that we cut, and the inverted the little seed. You see, it's very easy. Now I'm going to do the border of the peel of the apple, which is a very soft line over here. And if I don't do it right with the brush later on, I could do it better. But now we have another apple totally whole. We're going to do it this way over here, and it's kind of a little slanted because you want to show herself. And we're going to do the little stem, and I hope that you could see, because the camera sometimes make tricks, and I had to paint very slight because otherwise it will show with the paint. But I hope that you could see what I'm doing. If you cannot see what I'm doing one time, you could replay this video and do it on your own later on. Okay, we have a peach over here. We want to do the peach right here, kind of over a little bit from the apple, and I'm erasing the part of the apple that we are overdoing it, and I'm gonna make it round. If you are not in the first beginning drafter, don't give up. Try and try. The more you try, the better you get. Remember that art is a matter of precision, but it's also a matter of persistent. If you are persistent enough to keep trying, if you goof the first time, don't be absolutely. I don't know if you have seen in the introduction of my film that I have over here a sign who said, "Don't give up." Please don't give up. Art is not easy, but it's not impossible. If I could do it, you could do it too. I'm doing over here my pear. I have one pear which is kind of lining down with the apple, and I'm gonna make it. She's kind of reclining in the apple. I'm gonna make it recline over here. And I have another apple which is kind of a round over here. Is lying down. I would say that she's up. This pear is a little tired and she decided to lie down. Sometimes we like to do that. Because I am an artist who have been in many different situations, I want to share with you guys my philosophy of being not only good artists. It's just we had to have some philosophy in art and in life, and I'm gonna give you guys some of the thought that I had today. I have a wonderful day last night, and it gave me the inspiration to do some thinking. And sometimes I create poetry, because most of the artists are a little bit of too many things together. They are poets, they are writers, they are musicians. Artists could be in many different dimensions. They are actors and actresses, and I have my little thinking today that I love to give to you guys as a gift. And one of my thoughts is this way: you are the artist of your life journey. Don't allow negative thoughts to reach your brushes, and you will paint positive and beautiful artwork. That means if you're positive, uh, you could change many things, and you could do many things with your own life in the right direction. Sometimes even if we are positive person, the environment or certain people around could influence us to don't feel good. Don't give up. Try to change the negative people who you might be confronting around you into positive. I mean, you are in many ways also a teacher, because we all teach each other to be better, to be more positive. And because this class is inclined to give positivism, joy, and also good feelings to people, I am sharing another of my thoughts. It says over here, share your brushes and your love and your light around you, and negative people will see the difference. And it's true. If you're happy, this happiness, if you spread the happiness around you, this happiness come back to you in many different ways. And also you're benefiting people around you. I'm painting over here our little grape bushes that we have, and I'm doing my grapes here very artistically, because I don't know if you are observant. If you become an artist, you're going to be changing the way that you see things. You're going to begin to learn how to be more observant and more aware of many things around you. Because if you wanted to just copy what is around you, you have to observe first. And this is what I've been doing all my life. I've been observing, I've been participating in life also, but it had gave me a beautiful way to perceive things, because artists, we feel what we see. We feel, and to create, you have to be very, very attuned to whatever is around you. And to me, what have more impact in my life has been nature, animals, birds, butterflies. I adore to see, if I do a trip to the woods, to see things around. If you never had done that, try to do it again. Try to be aware of what is around you in a forest preserve. You find little animals who are probably shy and don't give up to be too friendly, because they are wild, they are not tame, and they do tend to sneak away from your sight when you surprise them. But try to be aware of the surrounding. Smell the grass, touch the bark of a tree. See that different trees have different bark and different perfume or aroma. And do one of the things that artists do. Enjoy whatever is around you. If you go to a city, I don't know if you guys have seen how beautiful it is when it rains. The road became shiny, and any street that you go in became shiny and look like a sparkling sometimes. Even I have seen a beauty in a hole, what we call the potholes. I have seen beauty in that, because when it reflected in the light of the either the street or the light of the moon, it does have an enchantment, colors, and beautiful. And everything that you see around, it is enchanting if you wanted to see it with artist's eyes. I did create what I was talking. I did create my grape, and I'm going to create my orange here. If you are not me like I could draw, remember how to make a circle with a cap. I don't need it, but if you guys need it, go ahead and use it. Don't worry. I'm creating my other apple, my other part of the orange here. And remember that the orange have like a little spaces in between the pulp that separate the pulp. And I don't know the name in English, but I know the name in Spanish. And it has sections. And for the Spanish speaker, I'm going to start doing some Spanish word that it might be helpful to them. We call it gollejos. It's a separation of this center. It's like a little center white, and it have like a little membrane who contain the orange, which is also each section is full of little minute little like a pebbles. Okay, and I'm gonna do over here on my other peach. And because this is a peach country, I love to have peaches around me also, because not only they are delicious, they are beautiful. I don't know if you had the idea, because sometimes I do that. When I go to the grocery store, I touch the produce. I do it very subtle. I don't be touching everything, because some store they don't like us to do this, but I touch the surfaces, especially the peach surface is so smooth and so nice and so cute that I love to touch it, because it remind me a baby. Something remind you something, and some things give you some different if you use your imagination. If you have a lemon, you remember the bitter taste of a lemon. But I don't know if you have seen that. Next time that you go to the grocery store, touch the produce, see the surfaces of the different fruits and the different vegetables, and also visualize how to paint it. Visualization helps a lot all the artists, and if you wanted to become a professional artist, or just to do it by like I began to do it as my own hobby, I used to go and touch surfaces because intrigued me how to paint it. I always had that different feeling that people do not know how to call it, but artists are curious, are inquisitive, and very observant, and that's what makes us better as an artist. Because if we want to make if we want to create something copying nature, we have to become very observant. I had done my composition over here, very simple, and I'm going to start painting right now, and you will see that this is going to be a piece of cake. And I'm going to make this very easy for you guys to do, because and excuse me 1 second that I had to get my brushes back, because I have many things over here in my table to show you different things. Remember, when you begin your painting, to go back to the brushes and do this again, because even if you clean the brushes thoroughly, they always remain tough. It remain stick together, and if you don't do this, it's gonna get you no good results when you start painting. And I'm gonna share with you one of my other thoughts that I had today, and I'm gonna be sharing different thoughts to you guys while we are talking and while we're painting, because life is a journey, And the journey that we do, it becomes different if we think positive. If for some reason you have a bad day, don't take it as a bad omen. Sometimes bad day teach us many good things also. Because if we could just bear with whatever bad is around, we could just learn how to cope with life problems and also find a solution for that. I'm beginning to paint my apple, and I'm doing big strokes with our magenta color. Remember that this painting that I recommend in the beginning is just have 12 color, but different. If you want to become professional, use the sets that it had 24 color, because it will be making your life easier. You don't have to mix colors later on to create secondary and tertiary colors. What it means with secondary and tertiary is that you have to be mixing two different colors to create a shade different, or making either darker or white. You have to mix it with black or white. Remember also that this is another thing that I'm going to do next class. Light influence whatever you're doing. Light reflects it in the pigment of the colors, and it will change the outcoming of the painting if you do not be careful mixing the colors right. Remember to have good light when you're painting, and if you could replicate artificially, like I'm doing over here, I'm replicating light with fluorescent light, plant light, and regular light to create sunlight. But if you don't have that, look for the north of your home. With the northeast, the light is different, and I will explain that in other classes, how light reflect different in the north, the south, the east, and the west. And it's absolutely one of those interesting things that light do. It changes everything because reflect in different ways. One thing that I'm going to do, and while I'm painting, I'm leaving some spaces over here white, because the apple is very smooth and reflect light around, and I'm just leaving that in that way. I don't have to wait until it dries to paint white on top. And I'm painting my apple here really quick, and I'm doing this very easily because the apple in the bottom is not totally round. It's like it has a little pear shape. If you had the idea to be training your eyes to see the difference of different fruits and products, you see also how they are shaped. Observe a shape. Observe the roundness or the squareness or the combination of different ways. Observe all of that and be very, very observant. To be a good artist, to become a good artist, you have to train your eyes to see different. Many people go around in a garden and they see things and they admire the flowers and they admire everything, but they don't see what we could see, because we could just go to a little different dimension. I'm creating over here the shining portion of this apple with a little white on top, and mix them out just to make it very, very. Now, to create the illusion of this apple is round, I'm going to mix a little bit of brown with the red to make it a darker red. And also I'm going to use very teensy little bit of black, because this set doesn't have enough color shades. I had to create a shade. And what I'm doing is mixing brown, black, and the edge of my own red over here, and I'm going to create the roundness. The illusion of this apple is round. Remember that art is just replicating what you see, but it's also creating the illusion, because we are painting in a very, very flat surface, and we have to kind of convert it in round, just using different shades of color. See, this part over here looks more round now. Let's go to on top over here. Also, there is a wonderful scene also to kind of imagine where the light in this painting come from, and the light will come from here to here, and I'm making this light lighter, and this light is going to be darker, because any surface, it changes with the darkness of the shadows. And we're going to do this part a little bit darker. I'm mixing my paint, my round over here, mix them up to make this apple appear round. And I don't know you, because when I'm painting an apple, I am also in my imagination having an apple. And I don't know if you do this, but when I eat an apple, I enjoy the aroma of the apple when I cut it. I enjoy the taste, and I enjoy the flavor. And different varieties of apples have different flavors. A Fuji apple doesn't taste the same like I would say, okay, I forgot the name of the other apple that I love too, but the Red Delicious. The Red Delicious are very pulpy, very fragrant. They are delicious, and that's why they have the name of Red Delicious, but it tastes different than the Fuji apple. And all the different kind of apples that I had taste, they taste different. Also, the senses, when you have to become aware of these, all your senses, art influencing that too. Because when you're painting, if you imagine the real apple, how it feels, how it looks, how it smells, and how it tastes, you are using all your senses. And that is wonderful. I'm creating over here the lighter portion of my apple. I'm going to make a little lighter with a little white. And you will see that this is totally different, because the light is coming from here and is influencing my apple over here. Okay. Remember, when you do something round, use round strokes. You cannot do round scene if you do a stroke in the direction of that is not round, because it will not produce what you need. Remember that, because if you do a straight line, it's not going to do the same effect that a round line. If you do something round, you have to paint it round. If you do something straight, you have to paint it straight. And now we have the illusion of this apple over here. I'm going to make that little light reflect really, really good over here. It's a happy apple. And it's delicious. Now I'm going to imagine the center of the apple. The center of the apple is a little mix of white and a little bit of yellow, and very teensy weensy, very, very teensy weensy of the color orange, because it's depending upon how you visualize the apple, in the inside is not totally white, neither totally yellow, neither totally. Is sometimes another thing that I as a science teacher, I tell when I teach my student in my studio as a science teacher, we create also when the apple is exposed to the oxygen that the apple rust, and that's the brownish section that you see in an apple when it's a little bit of time that you have cut the apple and it become a little darker and sometimes become brownish. It's just because the oxygen of the air have altered the chemistry of the apple. And I'm going to create this over here also with a little bit, just to have fun, with a little bit of darker color. Art is a fun thing to do also when we create something that is real. And this part of the apple have been cut like a half an hour ago, and now it's showing a little bit of, just with a teensy-weensy little bit of brownish over here that I mixed with my, I'm gonna put my palette over here for you guys to see it. I'm mixing the same color that I had before with a little bit of brown, and I'm gonna create that this apple have been cut about half an hour ago, or maybe an hour, and it's showing the beginning of the oxidation. And if you didn't know that, that is what the brown thing is. Also happen in the bananas and some citric. Okay, now I'm going to create my seed. The apple seed is very dark brown, and because my brown here is dark enough, I'm going to create my seed. Okay, and to make it more visible, I'm going to use my 50 brush because it's very handy, and going to do the outside in a little darker brown. I'm going to use a little bit of black to darken my brown. In further lessons, I'm going to just start teaching you guys the difference of shading in the same color and why. I'm going to create the outside of my seed more visible, putting a little darker around. If you see, this is not another seed. This is where the apple, when you cut it, was the base, the bed of the seed. And I'm not going to do it that way. I'm going to do it just with another color. I'm making over here a line, darker line, to create the center. I have an artist friend of mine that she takes a lot of time to do something, but when she finishes, it's absolutely incredible. Because time over here is my is one of my problems. I had to do this quicker to make it in 1 hour or 2 hours, but if I'm going to do this professionally, I will take longer time to create more visible and more refined work of art. The other apple is going to be closed quicker because it is not cutted. But this is the good thing of this painting. We are creating the illusion of reality. And reality, it takes the time to do it. Okay, now I'm going to create the effect of the apple that is half oxidated and half not oxidated. And here we go. One side is oxidated because the air was more intense there, and the other side is not. think it is kind of a... Now, the base of the apple, where the seed was, I'm going to create it with a little bit of white, a little bit of green, to create a very light combination of green, light, and that is what the seed of the apple was. It's just when we cut it, it is in the other side. And to make it more visible, I'm going to do same thing I did before. Kind of create the shape around. To make it equal. Okay, we have that apple done. We're going to do now the stem. The stem of the apple is a combination between brown, green, because when the apple is ready to be harvested, the stem is ready to fall out, also to make the apple fall down in the orchard. And that means a combination of brown and green. When it's a very ripe apple, the whole scene is very, very dark brown because it dries. It's ready to be picked up. It shows, the stem shows when the apple is ready. That's another thing that you could find out if you do researches. I do a lot of researches, and I talk to, I have been also talking to orchards owners, because as I told you, I am very curious, and I have been blessed enough to have some friends who have orchards in Illinois, because I live in Illinois for a while, and they have many ways to know when an apple is ready to be picked. The apple itself tell when it's ripe. When they do, because they are commercial, they sell the apples, they pick it up at a time that the apple is almost done, because it will keep being getting done with the time that it's being shipped to different stores, different places. And apples, they have time to be picked when they are normal to eat, and time to be picked when they are ready to be shipped. And they know exactly the right time. That's why I was curious enough to ask, because I am a very curious person. That curiosity have made me know a whole bunch of things that normal people don't know. But I find it fun. I find that is absolutely fun, because knowledge never hurt. The more you know, the better it is, because you never know when you're going to use it, and in the right time and the right moment, it could pop up in your brain, and pop up in your mind, in your imagination, and it pop up in your and it's good. It's good to know all of these things. Because I am a teacher, I have been a teacher for high school and college for many years. I had to study all the things, and I transfer that to my student in art. But I always believe that knowledge is one of the gifts that we could just have and give to other person, because money is paper who comes and goes. You never know, one day you have it and one day you don't, according to whatever life situation might be. But knowledge is still in your brain. And that helped me also a lot when I came from my country in Cuba. And thank God I could have a job, because I was bilingual, very easy, and also because I had a lot of knowledge. And I had 2 master's degrees when I came here, and later on I keep studying, and I have another 5 more careers, because I never cease to learn, and I don't going to cease to learn until I have to go. I believe that learning is a beautiful thing that we could do, because you never know when you're going to use it, and you never know when you're going to need it. And whatever you know is still in your brain, and you could pick it up anytime. I'm painting my other apple because this one is not cut. It's really easy to do, and I'm trying not to get the red in top of my peach over here. But I am doing the base to make a little bit of shade, and this is going to be a little bit more quicker than the previous one that we have. If I went doing this in oil it does dry slowly and it's different. In acrylic, because it's water-based, we also use a polymer that I'm going to get next time. I'm going to buy it tomorrow for next class, because the polymer help the paint to be more substantial in top of the primer that we had done. Remember that we did a primer. I show you how to do a priming. Priming could be helpful, but sometimes it could be a little interfering depending on how many coats you give. But it is always good because it gives you a smooth surface to paint, and also give the patina that we create with oil. But the water-based acrylic, they don't have the patina until we mix it with the polymer that I'm going to show you next time. Okay, I have my apple done, and I'm going to do a little bit of shading in the edges, mixing again a little bit of dark and a little bit of brown with black. Very, very little, not too much. And I'm going to show you how to do it. If you see this, it's too dark, but if you could go here, it's a little whiter or a little less dark. And I'm going to create the edges of the apple. And I'm going to use my other brush to create because apples are not totally round, they are in sections. And I mix them up to make it visible. Right now, I don't know you, but right now I am really enchanted with my apple, because I smell the apple while I'm painting it. I am imagining the apple itself. And after I finish this class, I'm gonna get an apple that I have in the refrigerator and enjoy it. That's what visual scene create. If you have a vivid imagination like I have, it gives you the effect that you're creating with a brush. It gives you the effect in your senses. And I'm very careful over here, do not spoil my peach, which is just reclining in the apple over here. Okay, now I'm ready for doing the apple stem, and I'm going to do this part over here lighter, because the light reflects over here a little bit better, and over here a little bit better. But remember that this apple is kind of a hideout in between the other apple. It's not so. Okay, now we are creating my stem, which a little bit of brown, a little bit of yellow, and a little bit of green, because this apple was green one day. The stem was green, but it just became ready to be picked, and now we are creating the smoothness. And I have a boo-boo over here. I put too much water, and I went and have my really friend over here, the Q-tip, helping me to get. That happens to many beginners. Remember that our best friends in painting is a Q-tip or a toothpick with a little bit of cotton in between. They are our best friends because they could erase the boo-boos and fix the boo-boos that we do. and I have too much water over here. I'm gonna dry everything with my friend over here and do it better. Okay. In the beginning, when I did this project, I envisioned my classes to be 3 hours, because honest in painting, time is a big enemy. Sometimes it's a big friend, but it's a big enemy. But because we are foreseeing that people will not spend 3 hours watching a painting, we reduce it to 2 hours, and I had to quick it up right now a little bit, the rest of the painting, because time is our not a friendly thing today. But I hope that you guys keep practicing and take your time when you do practice at home. Take your time. Do not rush. Nature never rush anything. Artists should not rush anything, but because this is a program and this is just a way to create art in very minimal time, I had to rush things even if I don't like it, but I had to do it. And we're gonna do this real quick. Okay, I'm gonna create right now my peach. The peach color is a wonderful combination of white and yellow and a little bit of brown. Very, very little, because peach are not really, really yellow, neither really, really orange. They are peach color, and I love that color. It's a wonderful thing. I wear a lot of peach colors sometimes. And I'm creating right now my peach tone with a little bit of white, a little bit of brown, very little, and a little bit of and this is really a heck of a good peach. And I'm going to show you a trick to do this, because the peach are a little fussy. I don't know. I told you that I go to when I go to buy my groceries and I do buy my fruits, I love to touch peach because they are soft, but they have like a little very smooth softness that appeal to my senses, and I'm going to create that with a brush. The peach stem is most of the time in between green and lighter green and a little bit of brown, not too much, just teensy weensy. And I'm going to create it over here. To make it visible, I'm going to mix a little bit of green and a little bit of brown to make the edges. Now, to make the roundness of the peach, I'm going to create just a teensy weensy little mix of red and the same color that I did with the red, yellow, and white. And I'm going to make my peach section over here. The peach are in halves, and they have a half over here. I'm going to create it a little bit darker to kind of get it, pop it out. And also give it a roundness. And I'm going to show you how to do the fussiness. I have a lot of joy when I did this. When I paint a peach the first time, I didn't know how to do the fussiness of the peach peel, the outside. And I try and I said, I have to do this somehow. And I came out with a combination of brown and red and in strokes that it kind of do this type of thing, like a little dots and it get the illusion of the peach fussiness. And it's a trick that I want to transfer to you guys with a little bit of brown, very little, and a little bit of make like some sort of a, not exactly round dots, but exactly not even wiggly, it's just little strokes. And it gives the effect of the fussiness of the peach. And I'm going to give a little bit of white over here, because peaches are also not same way that the apple is. Peaches are a little bit more fussy. They're not smooth. And mix them up a little bit of brown here to make the edges pop up. And we're done with the peach. We're going to do now the section of the apple that we cut. And this is going to be very simple. And I'm going to, after I finish this class today, I'm going to go to the store and buy the polymer, because the polymer that we mix instead of water, or with the water, we could do a little bit of water and a little bit of polymer. And I'm going to give you guys the brand and everything. It helps to smooth the paint. It gives the patina that the acrylic don't have. It have like a patina finish that is very pretty when you finish the and I'm going to do that today after I finish this class and get it from the store. I'm going to do my apple slice by creating over here the red of the peel real quick. And don't be bashful to do this, because sometimes it's easier for the hand to move the canvas and do it this way. There are different tricks that we do to eliminate our own hand problems, creating an illusion, because we are creating the illusion of this is a peel and this is apple over here. I'm gonna go and get the apple meat right now real quick with a little bit of yellow and a little bit of brown and a little bit of white. And this is quick. This is our apple meat. The core is a little bit more darker, and because this apple have been, we make believe that this apple have been cut about an hour ago and have a little bit of oxidation. We're going to create the oxidation also. That's part of the learning. That's part of the learning that you do when you paint. If you're going to create something real, you have to know how to do it and how to mimic what nature does. Okay, I create that. Now I'm going to create a little bit of the oxidation, mixing again a little bit of green, no, a little bit of yellow and a little bit of brown, and a little, very little bit of, very little of white. Remember, when you, I hope this is something that I want you to do. This is a homework. When you finish this class, if you have an apple in the refrigerator, cut it and see the combination of color when you cut it and how it changes with the time. And this is a learning process, not only as a lesson of art, it's a lesson of training your eyes to visualize reality in a better perspective. This portion over here, which is the core of the apple, I'm going to make a little bit of green in between the yellow, because it always have like a little difference. The center, the core, is a little bit darker, and I'm going to create that with a little bit of green and come back later with my brush with the yellow and the white and create the illusion that this is a core. And also create the illusion that this is just round out of a surface which is totally flat. See the core now? It's different. Now I'm gonna do my apple seed. Okay, I have the seed over here, and I have the effect that this was the other section of the apple that it has a seed also, because apple had many seeds. They have about 5 seeds. Some they have 4 only. That's another thing that I have learned. Depending upon the brand, they do have different kind of seed. And we're done with the apples slice. After we finish this line over here, to pop it up, and we had done our apple. And the pear is gonna be real quick. We're gonna do very light green first and round them up with yellow. And I don't know, to me art is also not only the magic of creation from a surface that is totally flat to do roundness and do edges and do all of that. It's also a magic to create something that it is also appetizing when we finish, and kind of give our senses that kick. I will call it the kick. It's a visual. If you have a vivid imagination, if you don't, you will get it when you become an artist, because the way that you interpret and you visualize something, not too many people does the same thing, but also give you your senses the magic of discovering how to create something that nature does. And nature is very beautiful, because nature do not hurry. They do things on time. They do things perfect. If you observe, every fruit is a perfect gift to all of us in many ways. I'm doing my other pear over here, and pear come in many different colors. They are pear very light, they're pear almost white, and they're very, very green. And this one, because we are doing a painting, we're going to create it a little bit deep green, because otherwise it won't pop up when we finish. But they are a magnificent creation of nature. Pears are delicious depending upon the brand, but they're also, if you observe how nature create from a tiny little flower, create a pear or create other. Talking to a friend of mine last week, I was working in a place in my church, surrounding foliage, and I learned a lesson very, very fascinating for me. I see that we have a lot of trees over there, and we have an icon. And the icon, it was because we have so much rain this past week, it was bursting to become a tree. And many people see tree and they don't even like them sometimes and cut it, but they don't realize that a tree just born from an icon and born from a seed. Many people do not realize also when they got vegetables in their salad, the people who are involved to put those in the ground and raise it and later on harvest and later on put it in your store. Start thinking about that when you get a salad next time. Think about so many people who was involved for you to have that salad full of delicious vegetables. How that, have you thought about that? How long it takes those things to get into your table? Many people don't think about those things, but I do. And you might call me silly, or you might call me too curious, or you might call me whatever you want to call, but I think about some things like that. I'm creating over here at the edge of the pear, which is kind of around, and is what the flower was, and the flower became a pear. But it takes the time to do that. It's like us. When we born very little, and we've been growing and growing, and became adult, became toddlers first, became a little bit more adult later, reached puberty, and later on became adult, and later on became a little old. It took time to do that. That's why I always teach to my students, please don't hurry. Take your time. Society lately have been abusing of the hairiness, and they're missing a whole bunch of gorgeous things that they should be enjoying. Smell the roses is a say, but not too many people have time to smell the roses because they're too busy doing things that they sometimes cannot get away from. But they're losing that part of life that it is precious. Take your time, don't hurry so much, and smell the roses. Smell and do things slowly. In that way your nervous system will be not so stressed out, and you could enjoy life a little bit better. Life is a precious gift, and our society lately had forgive about that, and the need of making money to survive, it have prevent many people to enjoy their families, to enjoy their neighbors, to enjoy their friends, and enjoy life, because they're too busy to make money and they are forgetting to enjoy life. Don't allow that to happen. Enjoy life before you have to go, because later on you will find out that sometimes it's too late if you don't enjoy life. I am a kind of a little philosopher, and I'm going to show you another philosophy of mine. And maybe you have to forgive me because today I'm very philosophical, but sometimes I am that way too. Not only philosophical, I'm very happy because many good things had happened to me in this week, and I'm going to transfer that to you guys. I have another scene that I wrote today. It is said, if you are the artist of your life journey. Don't allow negative thoughts to reach your brushes, and you will paint positive and beautiful artwork. And I'm going to read it again because it didn't sound good to me the first time. You are the artist of your life journey. Don't allow negative thoughts to reach your brushes, and you will paint positive and beautiful artwork in the future. that is a heck of a good philosophy, because I reached the age of my life which I have learned that many things, it comes to you as a learning process, but it comes to other people who surround you as a learning process also. And it becomes better when we are intelligent enough to understand that things sometimes could be different if we perceive things in a positive way. Because I have a gift that God gave me to born optimist, and no matter what happened, I always have been optimist in my life, and that helped me a lot, because I might be sometimes like any human being, victim of the surrounding ambience to become negative. But it just in one day I pop off. The next day I said, the heck with it, no, I'm gonna be positive, because I born positive, and I born very, very, very happy, and I born very, very optimistic, and I'm not gonna change. And that gives the person who surround me also my determination of do not succumb to pessimism. And this is the reason of these art lessons. When I submit my project to the Fulton County, I tell them that art is a tool to make people who are in stress right now because they have lost their jobs, or they had problems in between the changes that this COVID-19 had gave to all of us. It did it to me too. I lost a lot of money with the COVID-19 year, but I thought, what about turning all of these negative scene in a positive scene, and create a program to give joy and give energies, and give not only joy and energy, give hope to the rest of the people surround me. Because if we stop hoping, if we stop being positive, if we succumb to life problems and negativism, we don't accomplish anything positive. We don't accomplish anything good. And if we do turn negativism in positivism, and in joy and in happiness, we are helping ourselves to survive whatever problems we could have and endure that much better. And that's what this program is all about, to endure whatever problem you might have financially, to get you out of your problems for a while, and also get you to relax and enjoy painting, which is a wonderful tool to get you also changing the frame of mind and help you. Because if you are at ease, ideas come and pop up in your brain, and you might have lost your job, but now is the opportunity to have a better one. And always remember that when door locks in your face and closes, another door open unexpectedly, somehow, some way, in many different directions. And if you think positive and think about what I'm saying right now, when I began this project, I never thought I could have so much joy. And you had no idea how much I enjoy teaching you how to paint. I have joy also to suppress my fears of the future, and say, hey, if this is a collective situation, I'm not the only one who's having troubles with the money, neither the only one who had trouble with the job. Everybody's in the same boat that I am. Let's just make the boat ride much better. And that's what I'm doing. I'm doing art to let you know that everything who happened is for the best. And if you don't believe me, you will see that after you finish these classes, you will have another different perception about troubles. Because I always believe that any single problem has a solution, and we sometimes don't look at it, don't find it easily. But if we are at ease and enjoy and have happiness, doing something, something pop up. And it had happened in my life many, many times. I'm a Cuban born, and I survived the changes in my country in communism. I survived losing my country and come over here. I have the joy to have another home, beautiful people who help me, and I've been working since then non-stop because I don't think I could just retire. I don't think that I could just have the capacity to retire totally because I love to do things, I love to create, and now I have another job, which is convincing you guys to see life like I do. It's a journey, but the journey could be wonderful if you change your thoughts. If you change negativism for positivism, you're helping yourself, you're making yourself better, you're making the people around you better, and you're having joy. And that's what we're doing, having joy over here painting. And I finish my 2 apples and I do my stem, and we're going to attack the other ones, and we're going to do this real quick right now. Okay. I hope that you don't mind my frame of thoughts and my advices, because this is what this program is being. That's why I've been awarded, because I want to create in you all the sense of self-assurance, the sense of self-pride, the sense of self-love, and also create that hope is always around the corner. Or maybe it's not in the corner, maybe it's with you right now and you don't realize it, because every single thing changes from one day to the next. And if you are pessimist and don't think about this, don't think about that life is a beautiful thing to live, you might be missing the good portion of life and the lesson that life gives us every day. And I believe that this lesson, it had helped us to reconsider our train of thoughts, our train of thinking, and bring the good in everybody. Because I've been reading magazines, and people are becoming more aware of kindness, aware of love, and people are more prompt to do good things to other people, because that's what sometimes it's all about. I'm going to create right now my 2 oranges real quick, and we're going to go absolutely fabulously finishing this in no time. One of the things that I have learned along my years is that one door open when you less expect it, and when all the doors are locked, somehow, some way, life gives us another opportunity, or we jump and meet somebody, or somebody meet us and change our life forever. And that's what happens sometimes. Sometimes inadvertently people get into other people's life, and inadvertently people influence other people. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to influence you guys to be positive, to think that every single problem has a solution. I believe that every single thing who happened is for the best. And because I believe that, and I've been having these experiences in my own life, When I came from Cuba 54 years ago, I came with what I was having on because we lost everything there. And to me, that was a heck of a learning because I was very young, but I learned how human being could be cruel, but other human being could be wonderful. And we have encountered communism in Cuba, and I encountered many different things that I never thought I could encounter. But also when I came over here, I find many gorgeous people who open the door for us, give us job. I work hard. I earn. I still have the first dollar that I made here. I frame it. I didn't spend it, and I'm gonna show it to you in my next class. And what I do when I have my hard time is remembering all of this learning that I did then. And what I'm doing right now is transferring my own experience to you guys to tell you that you guys are lucky, that you guys are born in a wonderful country with wonderful people who are kind, not only here, it have been kind with the rest of the world, because United States have been helping the rest of the world problems most of the time. Remember that every single thing that we have in life, every single lesson that we learn in life is a learning process. Don't see it as a bad thing. Don't see problems, lack of money or family problems or divorces or whatever. Don't see it as a bad thing. If you turn around and think that every single thing who happens to you, it has a reason to happen, and it make you feel better, it make you feel more at ease and more aware of many things that you don't know. Life is a journey, and as much as we go in this journey together in shining and giving love and reassurance to others and be positive, the journey is much better and it's beautiful. It's not so bad. When we exercise kindness and love to people around us, we're giving our light, we're giving our best, and we're giving our kindness, because human beings are kind by nature. Sometimes there is some that are confused and don't use that kindness too much, or they are unhappy, or they have some problems. But not everybody, mainly everybody born with gorgeous things inside. And this is something that we have to not only keep doing it, we have to transfer. When we transfer love, when we transfer positive thinking, when we transfer our light, our way to do things in a positive way, we are helping other people. And I hope I'm helping you today. If you have a bad day, please don't think it is bad. Think it will be better tomorrow. And you will see that that becomes a reality, because nothing is perennial. Nothing lasts forever. One thing I had to learn from the bad thing is, right now, I have the joy to be helping you guys, teaching you guys, and you had no idea how happy that made me. I want to transfer my happiness. I want to transfer my way of visualizing things that might be different for many people, but I am that way. I'm a positive person. I will never change. And I am also thinking that if we exercise positivism and joy, even in the hard times, we are helping our other people, we are helping ourselves, and we are helping other people to see the light. And that's what my student called me Miss Sunshine. My student many years ago baptized me with the name of Miss Sunshine, because I transferred that joy that I have in my heart to my student. And when they didn't want it to learn, because when you're young, sometimes you think you know everything, and you don't want to learn, you don't want to listen to your teachers, like you don't want to listen to your parents sometimes, I use jokes and singing and many things that are unconventional to change the pace and the thinking of them, that they've been so immature that just wanted to do games with their phones and things like that instead to be learning what they're supposed to be learning. I called the attention to them and convinced them that I was determined to be a teacher. I was determined to do the curriculum. I was determined to do what I've been there to do. But I also have a good sense of humor, and I could change the way that I could teach. And I did that. I changed the way that I teach. Instead to be conventional, I became a playful teacher. And I have some problems sometimes with the principal, but I explain then, if I just do this, the kids pay attention to me and they learn, and I accomplish my job as a teacher. And I convince the principal also that sometimes you cannot be too serious, neither too by the book, because life changes. And if you take life as a learning process, you have to be flexible and you have to be unconventional sometimes. I could be very serious, and I am very committed with what I do, but I have a heck of a sense of humor, and I use that every time that I can, and it's permissible. And sometimes I sneak out too. Sometimes if it's not permissible, I sneak a little bit according to whatever happens, because if you take things in a easy way or make it believe that it's easy, people are convinced that they could do it. And that's what I'm doing with you guys. I'm convincing you guys that you could paint, and maybe in that convincing thing, I'm enjoying not only teaching, I'm enjoying just to find out that you are bringing over your own hidden talent, because many of you have a talent, otherwise you won't be here. Many of you did not know that you could paint easily, like I am giving you guys the way to do it. Many of you doubt that you could do it, but maybe some of you, and most of you, according to the beautiful comments that I'm receiving every time in my website, in my Facebook page, and also I encourage you guys to send me your comments, because my phone doesn't do too well texting. Please send me an email. Tell me your thoughts. Tell me your impression of these classes. Tell me whatever question you have, and I will help you. But if you doubt that you could paint, now you find out that it's not so hard. Now you find out that it's totally easy. I'm making a little bit of the orange, have like a little dots that is porous, and I'm creating those porous right now with a little bit of red and brown to make believe that this is a real apple, orange, I'm sorry. And I hope that you could find my philosophy as a Miss Sunshine shining on you, and I hope it will shine not only today. I hope it will keep shining, because if I could change the frame of your thoughts to be more positive and be more optimistic like I am, I think I've been giving credit to my name, because my name is Hope. And if I give credit to my name, I feel happy, because if I could give hope to all of you, I had accomplished what this is all about. And that's why I want to hear your impression, your comments, even your criticism. If you wanted to be constructive critics, I would love to hear that, because I'm a constructive. I'll always be learning. I don't think I'm perfect. I would never be, because none of us are perfect. but I am trying all the time to be the best that I could be. And if I could do that in these classes, I'm accomplishing what I'm supposed to be doing, and that's what makes me happy. And that would make you happy too. I'm creating over here my orange, and I'm going to do the grapes are going to be easy, and we are done. I have a peach to do over here, and I'm going to do it right now very quickly because time is ticking and I don't want to be out of time like I've been last class. And I had to thank all of you guys to be so absolutely fabulous that be with me in this venture and enjoy what I was doing and enjoy painting and giving me such a wonderful comments. I enjoy those comments. When I went to the my Facebook page and I saw the comments that some of you had done, it made me feel very proud. Not only from you, it made me think that I am not only having joy over here at painting, I'm fulfilling what the Fulton County had granted me for, fulfilling the commitment that I had done with them, and helping somebody to be different, helping somebody to be really, really happy to do painting and discover that yes, they could do it. People think sometimes, and I tell you because I did the same thing. When I began painting, I was my worst critic. I am a perfectionist, and I thought that I couldn't make it. And some days I was so frustrated that I had to just leave it be. But honest, if you are persistent enough to keep doing it, like I am, you will find out that yes, you could do it, and I did it. That's why I could teach today. If I wasn't so persistent, I would never be here teaching you guys. And if I know better than you, you could do it too. Because nobody could not accomplish whatever they wanted to do. Everything is possible if you have the way. There is always, if you have the will, there is always a way. Don't forget that. There is always a way to do something better, and there is always a way to improve ourselves also. If for some reason we succumb to pessimism, there is a way to turn back and say, hey, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to keep positive, and things are turning different when I become positive. And it's exactly what happened. If I never thought I could do this, I would never be here teaching you guys, because I will be self-sabotaging myself. And that's what I don't want you to do. Don't self-sabotage. Please. I'm creating over here my orange little sections that they are like a little, we create this as a little dots, and you will see how it pop off in a few minutes. I have a boo-boo over here, and because I put too much water, and I'm gonna use my friend over here, and the water is going out. And I'm going to do the same thing with the peach. I'm going to create the peach roundness with a little bit of red and a little bit of white and a little bit of orange. And I'm creating the fuzziness a little bit and make it a little bit. Now to pop off the section of the orange, I'm going to use a little bit of brown with the orange, because these had to pop up a little bit. and I put too much water. I'm going to take it off and look for another dry scene. Little by little, your eyes are going to be guiding you to create the right shade of color, because the more that you practice, remember, art is like every single career, every single thing that you, not only a career, even if it is just whatever you do, if you keep practicing, you keep perfecting yourself, you keep doing it better and better, but don't give up. That is the reason that I have that sign over there, because if you give up in anything, you are sabotaging your own self ability to create something or to accomplish something in life. Sometimes we have to stop and do not do too much thing until things are more appropriate to do. Sometimes you have to make a break and give yourself a break, but sometimes we could just find the right moment, the right time, the right way to do things in anything that we try to accomplish in life. I always said, don't be stubborn, but be persistent. Persistence has been the key of my success in life, my success in my private life and in my careers, because I sit down when things doesn't work too well, I sit down and I say what I had done wrong, what I had done that it shouldn't be. And it's wise to do that. It's wise to stop and reconsider things. It's wise to look for avenues that it will help us or help somebody around us in many ways, because we are not perfect and life is not perfect. But if we give up, it's what we are self-sabotaging our own abilities to overcome any type of problem. It's where we go. Trust me in that one, because sometimes I have done that. Many times I have thought that I wasn't good enough as an artist and stopped painting, but a little voice next to me or a little voice inside me told me, no, you should keep going. And I be back again and I do it again and I be better and better and better, and that's why we come better. But if you give up, you never know. And that's the key of the whole thing. The key is just stop and reconsider what are you doing wrong and don't do it again. Don't repeat the pattern. In many things, I have seen people who are repeating defeat over and over and over, and they become losers. Don't be a loser. Be a winner. It's many different degrees of winning. Sometimes you have to lose to learn that, but don't be a loser. Strive for the best. Strive to be the best that you could be, and people around you will let you know that yes, that's the right way. When life give you a prize and give you the result of your hard work and give you life will do that. Sometimes we have rewards, visible and not visible. The visible reward, people consider money as a very big reward, but don't be I would say change the pattern of your thought. Money is not everything. If you have health, it's a wonderful reward. Sometimes people lose their health because they are too worrying or too in a hurry or too mistreating themselves a little bit, and that is a thing that you shouldn't be doing. when you are worrying, you are minimizing your immune system way to help you. When you are too stressed out, also you are minimizing your immune system and your organs to work well and protect you. Don't overdo and do more than you can, or do more than you are healthy to do. Sometimes we push ourselves too high because we have goals too high and we cannot reach it and we feel miserable. Don't do that. Think the way to intelligently reach your goal without killing yourself. Remember that money is paper who comes and goes. Cultivate spiritualism, cultivate humanism, cultivate, be kind, be loving, be a good person with your family, with your friend, with your community, with everybody, because love is one of the most precious things that we have. And when we do spread love and spread positivism, it comes back to you in many different ways. It comes back to you to greet you and let you know that yes, you are a winner. If you worry too much, you are minimizing your abilities to see the light, see the result of one problem solution. If you worry too much, you are minimizing your own self-esteem and your own body ways to help you and be healthier. The way that you think is very important for your body. We are what we think, and many people do not know that and abuse of their own mind, and they do create their own misery being sick, because what we think influence our organs, influence our life, and the people who love us suffer because they don't want to see them sick. They want to see them healthy and happy. Remember that your best fortune is your health. If you have money and don't have health, you have nothing. Remember that. Don't kill yourself making money and lose your health. I don't say that money is not necessary. It is necessary to live decently, but it's not everything. Think about that. Well, talking and talking, I have my orange done, and I'm going to attack my grapes, and we are almost done. And I'm going to use a little bit of white again, and a little bit of I'm gonna use my other palette because this palette is getting too full, and I'm gonna transfer my other color over here and a little bit of blue that I have over here to make it a little bit darker. My purple is a combination of red and blue, and I'm gonna create over here another shade of purple because I like the grapes that they are more reddish than purple, and you will see how cute it is. Okay, and a little bit of white. Okay, I got my, and a little bit of yellow, not too much. Purple is a combination of almost 4 colors. And I'm going to do these next classes. I'm going to do more technical mixing, more advices to do things differently, because I am very unconventional. And I'm gonna do my grapes right here, right now, using a little bit of more red in the beginning. And you will see that some grapes are very red, some grapes are very green, but this one is a very, 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 very purplish grapes, which are the one who create the wine that I love. I don't drink too much. I drink very little wine. Wine is very healthy, and I had to find out sometimes the wine who's been manufactured that it doesn't have sulfite, because it made me feel very sick. The sulfite is created by the growers to age the wine faster, instead to be aging by time. They wanted to fast the whole process, and that is what it gets you really sick. At least that's what it does to me. In Spain and in France, they don't do that too often, because the wineries over there, they do it the old-fashioned way, which takes time. But some manufacturers have found a way to add the sulfite, and some sulfite are normal in the grape, but they put too much, and that's what it kills me. I have to be very careful drinking wine. I don't drink too much, and I drink very little, once a year or twice, Thanksgiving or Christmas. But once in a while I would like to have a glass of wine, because it's very healthy, but I have to be very careful finding the right wine who doesn't have. The other day I went to a place and I checked with a fellow every single thing, and everything has sulfite, and I ended up not buying anything. And that is tragic for me, because I love to enjoy a little bit of wine. But that happens. And locally I find another place that they have the wine that it doesn't have any sulfite, and I got a little bit, and I celebrate yesterday a beautiful family meeting, a family togetherness that I enjoy with my son and my grandson and his girlfriend and my daughter. I call my daughter-in-law, because she's really my daughter. She's a wonderful lady, and I enjoy her company, and I enjoy her because she's a wonderful person, and she's one of my students now. And I love to teach her. She was really, really improving a lot, because she discovered that she had the talent to paint, but she didn't know that before. And that's what I want you guys to do. Discover that yes, you could do it. Discover that yes, you are an artist. Discover your own potential. Remember that there are teachers who teach, but they're teachers to influence and change our lives. And I have many in my life. I've been blessed with some of them. I've been blessed with teachers who taught me twice. Once in Cuba and once over here, because they had to immigrate like they did. In St. Thomas of Villanova University in Miami, Florida, I had the fortune to have 3 of my teachers who taught me when I was a teenager, when I was a young woman, and taught me again when I was a mature lady, because I had to, communist people, they destroy our records, and I had to do twice college. And I'm glad, because sometimes you do something and you forget with the time. And I'm glad that I was blessed enough to have the same teacher twice. And I'm very happy that I could be your teacher right now also, because that's another thing that teachers had. Teachers, sometimes we teach, we get in love with our student, and we don't see them later. They go in life, but one day you had the fortune to happen, like it happens to me. I was coming from Arizona to visit my son over here in Alpharetta. He was living in Suwannee then, and the plane that I got didn't get into. I couldn't have a straight a straight line who come over here, and I had to do a change in Texas, and the plane got very late, and I couldn't have the connection. And I said, well, let me just keep driving instead of flying the rest of the journey. And I went to Hertz to get a car, and all of a sudden I have a big fellow coming over from the back of the counter. It's Mrs. Sunshine, and he gave me a hug. It was big and huge, and he got me almost 3 feet out of the ground. And I know that he knew me because he called me Miss Sunshine, but I didn't know who he was. I was totally taken by surprise because I honestly didn't know who he was. But when he called me Miss Sunshine, I said, well, he had to be one of my students, because when you have it in high school, they change. And that's what he was. He was one of my students from high school, and it happens about 10 years or 20 years after. And he asked me what I was doing over there. I said, well, I wanted to rent a car and keep going to Suwannee, and because I had to visit with my son, and I'm gonna get a hotel now and get a car and go tomorrow. He said, oh no, you're not going to a hotel, you're going to my home. I said, what in the world are you doing over here? I said, well, I am the manager of this place, and you're going to my home. You're not going to, I don't going to leave you alone over here in a hotel in the middle of nowhere with you. I'm going to bring you to my home. And he brought me to his home, and I spent the night with him and his family, his wife and 3 daughters and a son. And I never expect that. I was totally enchanted that after almost 15 years, he remembered me and gave me the opportunity to enjoy his family, and they've been so beautiful with me that I felt, my goodness, this is the little reward that teachers sometimes have. Because when we teach, we let them go, and we finish, we graduate them, and we don't know what happened with them, because sometimes they go far away and we don't know. And that one was a heck of a wonderful experience for me. I enjoyed that night with them, and I enjoy watching them and be participant in a beautiful family. And that was glorious, because I want to tell you something that is funny. Teachers and artists have very little rewards. People sometimes do not know, or do not know how to appreciate an artist, or do not know how to buy. They prefer to buy prints instead to buy an original. And artists, sometimes we don't be appreciated like it should be. But when this happened, it's like a lifetime achievement. I felt that night so happy to be a teacher, so happy to be an artist, so happy to be a person. Because when you see another human being that you've been influenced, that you've been helping to be better, or helping to get a career, helping to have knowledge, it's priceless. It's something that I don't have any whatsoever way that you could just. I enjoy it so much that night that it reminded my mind for years and years. And that's what happened with art too. Artists became famous when they're dead. And it's kind of ironic, but it's true. Many artists that we worship today as a masters, they have been encountering a lot of problems when they've been young and they've been painting, and nobody wants to appreciate their work, and nobody gave them the appreciation that they was looking for or they need. And it's fun. It's a learning process for us too. But sometimes we have reward. Teacher happen the same way. We graduate kids and we don't know what happened with them after, because we don't keep. I have in Arizona. I have a family that is the only one that I've been their friends forever, because I've been their teachers for high school, the teacher for junior high, high school. I went to the graduation in ASU. I went to their wedding. I went to their baptism of the kids they have. And I spent with them last year Christmas because they invited me to come back to Arizona. And to me, they are not only my students, they are my family. Their parents and I, we are one. And I enjoy so much seeing them having their own kids right now and seeing having their own lives. Enjoy so much, and I'm so proud of them. And it's the reward that I never thought I could have, but I did have it. And I hope that one day I could meet some of you or all of you, the one who are watching me right now. I hope that one day you could visit my studio over here, and I hope that you could enjoy what I'm doing and enjoy also what I'm telling you guys, because God gave me the ability to transfer my sunshining attitude, and to me that is a gift that I enjoy transferring. And this scene is almost a legacy for me. It's a legacy because I am teaching you guys how to do something that you could enjoy the rest of your life, but also give me the opportunity to give a legacy of love and appreciation, and also convince you that everything is much better when you are positive. And if I am convincing enough, you will see the changing. You will see that you guys' life will turn in another different direction, in a better direction, because they had done that to me too. Being positive is not easy sometimes, but it's the best. It's like honesty. Honesty sometimes is very hard, but at the long run, it's better to be deceiving. It's a little bit harder sometimes, but it's much better at the end, because it always gives you the reward to be appreciated as an honest person and have principles. When a person has principles and living life, a good life of joy, and it's always will remember that that person was the light of somebody. And that's what I want to be with you guys. I want to be the light of your life, that it give you a good feeling to be alive and to be joyful, enjoying not only painting, enjoying your life, because life is a gift. Health is a gift. And if you're light, you could have many, many good things. And if you're positive, you could do whatever you want. The sky is the limit. And I'm absolutely finishing with my grapes over there, and I hope that you guys see that they are really nice. And we're going to wrap it up, this painting, in no time. As you could see while I was talking, and sometimes I talk too much, I get inspired and I talk too much, but maybe that is my way to make you understand that this opportunity to me is precious. And in that little time that we are together on Wednesday, 2 hours, I want to give you the gift that I had. I want to share my own happiness, my own way to see things, my own way to live, and give you that gift that have been so important in my life for you to enjoy too, because I never could be a selfish person. I'm a giver. I always be a giver, and I will be a giver the rest of my life. Okay, I had done my grapes. I'm going to do now with a little bit of brown the stem, and we will do the background extremely easy. Okay, I'm mixing right now a little bit of yellow, a little bit of brown, two different kind of browns, darker brown and medium brown. But I'm gonna do if I mix brown with yellow, I will create a little lighter brown, and that's what I'm going to begin. Because the stem of the grapes, when they are ripe, they are brown. I have the fortune that I have been in a winery, and that's another thing that I enjoy doing also, because I love to see the process of doing wine. And because I am a science teacher, it is a lot of chemical scene involved in wine. It's a beautiful chemistry between the raping of the sugar inside of the sun. It has a big influence to create that flavor. Different kind of varieties of grapes have different varieties of flavor, but the way that they rape the grape and the way they age the grape is the one who produced the wine. And I'm not going to give you a wine class right now, but I've been very, very curious, and I went into a wine class once in Arizona. In some places, they are like California, there is very sunny. The grape, different varieties of grape grows really good. In other places, like Cuba, we are so tropical in Cuba that didn't have a good ground for grape. And we have a say in Cuba that said our wine is not too sweet, but it's our wine. Even if we Cuban people are sweet, our wine wasn't not the greatest, but we have gorgeous mangoes, beautiful mamey, and one day I'm going to paint over here tropical fruit that you guys don't know, and I'm going to give you the chance to enjoy the colorful of tropical fruits. We have over here bananas, and we have over here some fruit, but the some fruit doesn't come over here from tropical climates. And tropical fruits are totally different than the fruits over here. Okay, now I have the stem done, and I'm going to pop it up with a little bit of black. Just very little. Also, the stem of the grapes, they are not straight, they are kind of a wrinkle. And because they're kind of a wrinkle, I'm mixing a little bit of black to pop up the I don't know if you have seen orchard when they are not producing grape, when they are resting. The grape plant have the resting time when they produce the grapes. And like over here right now, we are in the fall session, and the trees are beginning to lose their leaves to be prepared for the winter. They do have the resting place also, and it is very fascinating to learn all of that too. And I have been curious enough to ask a lot of questions because I'm very curious. I told you that I'm a very curious person. I enjoy learning different things. I'm going to pop up a little bit the shading of the white, because the grapes are very extremely, the peels are extremely sleazy, I would say. I'm going to make it sleazy. Well, sleazy is not the word. I would say they are very soft looking, and what I'm doing is just mixing a little bit of white to give that appearance of shiny, because they are very smooth. That's why I left the center. I didn't paint it in the center. I think you have been observing that I left a little white in between to enhance the shining. And I'm going to enhance the shining right now, mixing of the paint, and to appear real. And you will see that it will appear real and brown. Little by little, you're going to be learning that it is possible to do a round scene in a flat surface. And that's the magic of art. It's part of what we learn observing. That's why I encourage you guys to be observant, because it's not easy to create something round in a flat surface, but it is possible. And we're doing this right now, and we're going to wrap it up this in no time. I'm using a little bit of red, very diluted, with a little bit of the darker to create that patina that the grape has. And if you see, this is a very, very pretty grape. The good thing with this program is because you could see it many times, you could just run it and do it more than once. If you miss something the first time, you could see it the next time. I'm creating a little darker in the places that they are darker, because the shade, it doesn't allow the light to get in there, but the other places where the light is there, they are popping up. Very good. And this is the beauty and the magic of art, that you're creating something with your brushes, with your hand, with the combination of brain, eye, and hand. You're listening to me, but also it is good that you guys practice imagine scenes. Don't be frightened to be imagining scenes. Your imagination is your best friend also, if you want to become an artist. Every single artist is very, very prompt in doing that, because our imagination is unlimited. Don't limit your imagination ever, because it's always a way to do things differently, and it's always different products that you could create in different ways. And we're done this, and I hope that these grapes looks very appetizing to you, because they are looking it to me too. I had to apologize, because my technician over here is telling me that I'm over the time that we need to have, and I have to apologize, because I get carried away sometimes doing art. But I hope that you guys forgive me, and I hope that, as I told you, art is sometimes hard to do in short time, but we're trying. I'm going to do the rest very quickly, and we're gonna finish today. My apologies for the one who are maybe you are enchanting and you don't realize, like me, that time goes really quick, but we had to wrap up, and we're going to right now, and I'm going to just do the background real quick. My apologies for the timing, but I hope that you realize that sometimes it happens that way. It's very difficult to time ourselves, and I'm going to create my tablecloth over here really quick with a little bit of blue, and it's not so easy. It's the first time that I do classes online. It's not so easy to calculate the time, and I apologize for that, but I'm learning also, and this is a good way for me to learn, and I hope that you guys don't mind to be a little bit over, but if you do, I won't do it again, because if I goof, I try not to do it again. I'm creating the folds of a tablecloth because these fruits are in a table, and this is going to be easy, and we're going to wrap up and don't do the other background today, the back portion, but at least I don't want it to leave this fruit in the middle of nowhere, because it's unfair for the fruit. Okay, I'm using a little bit of yellow, a little bit of blue and a little bit of white to create the folds of a tablecloth, and you will see that sometimes it's a little darker, but it will come lighter if I keep going with white. I hope that you enjoyed today's class, because I did enjoy it, and I hope that my philosophy will help you, and my way of seeing things will give you some perspective for the future you guys to follow, and I hope that you guys enjoy what we did, and if you wanted to do it again, you could watch this tape many times and do whatever times you need it, because for the beginners it might be easier to do it more than one time. For the intermediate and advanced student, it will be piece of cake, but we had to start from the beginning anyhow, and every single intermediate or advanced, it did begin one day, like we all did. Don't be frustrated if you cannot have the same result one time. Keep insistent, keep being patient, and be patient with yourself. Don't give up, because that's the key of the whole thing. Don't give up. I have done 2-3 times a painting because I am a perfectionist. I wanted to do the best that I could do, but when I cannot do it, my best advice is to leave it for a while and start all over again. And I had done that a lot when most of my masterpieces, I had done mistakes, because we all do. Don't be shy of that, because it's normal. But enjoy what you do. Enjoy the creation. Enjoy the finished product. Enjoy the way that you do it. You had no idea how much joy I had. I lose the time. I lose everything. My husband used to tell me, "Hope, you need to eat, you need to sleep." But if I am painting sometimes, because I paint in the middle of the night, I spend sometimes the whole night painting, and the next day I had to go to work and not sleep. But I couldn't stop. I enjoyed doing what I was doing, and you got the inspiration, you had to do it. Don't be frightened of that. Don't be ashamed of that. It's part of the learning. It's part of being artists. A person who's not an artist, he might think this is fun or this is ridiculous, but don't feel that way. Just keep insisting in being better. Remember that every single thing that you could do, I could do, you could do it too. Nobody is better than anybody concerning art, neither concerning other thing. It's just the amount of sin that that person have expend sometimes to do something is what the difference is, but not because somebody's better than anybody. No, everybody is equal, and everybody have the chance to do things. Some they are very active, and some they are very slowly, or some they don't care, and they don't accomplish what they, because they sabotage themselves. But if you keep insisting in do something, please keep doing it until you've mastered it. Mastering art, it takes time. It's not easy. It's frustrating sometimes. People do not understand you sometimes. But if you're happy, keep doing what makes you happy. That's what it counts. Happiness is something that I encourage people to be, because there is nothing better than be happy. When you're happy, everything is better. Your chromosomes work better. Your system, your immune system work better. All your organs work better. Happiness is something that even the Constitution tells us to be. The Constitution guarantees us the happiness of all of us. And that's what our forefather was looking for when they did the Constitution. Sometimes it's not easy to be happy, but don't give up. Don't give up. Sooner or later you could be. And I'm wrapping up this real quick, and I'm going to use my bigger brush to do it quicker, and we're done. What I'm doing is extending the painting that I already did with a bigger brush, and I'm going to do the folding real quick, and we're done. The prior painting that we did and show is the final product of this painting, but this one is coming along really better. I love it because it's lighter and it's really nice. And I'm going to finish right now saying, please don't give up, keep trying, keep being positive, keep being happy, because happiness shines in you when you shine, and shine the other person who are seeing you happy, and give you the satisfaction to contribute for other person to be happy too. I say so long to our next class. I hope that you could join me next Wednesday, the 11th. And don't forget to come over, because this is going to be even fun than today. Love you. Peace and love and spiritual hugs to all of you. So long.